Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Sorry if my throat seems a little gravelly today. It's still after surgery, so I still have a lot of stuff going on inside, but I just wanted to come out and say everything's going well now. The stitches did come undone, but they're back together and I'm doing fine. Not a lot of pain, doing pretty good. So on with today's story. I got a question for all of you, and that is, did we take things too far? So right now there's a couple camps out there, and there's the camp of we have to do everything. We have to lock down every single thing. No one should step outside of your house. You should never talk to anybody. You should be wearing masks everywhere you go. And then we have the other camp that says, you know what? Playing basketball myself in the park should not be illegal. Going for a walk with my husband and 2 kids should not have officers come up and question me. Things like that. And I can see all the different sides, right? Because people are tired of what's going on. People just want to get back to normal, even though it's hard to do that with what's happening out there. And right now we have sort of a dilemma on the cruise ships. And some of these people, for instance, some crew members on some cruise ships that are still out there, have now been on a cruise ship for more than 30 days, which is the way past the incubation period of anything that we're looking out for. There is 0 signs of anything on these cruise ships. They are healthy people, healthy cruise ships. The cruise lines want to send them home. The CDC has said, no, you can't do it. You're not allowed to send people home unless you hire a private jet, private planes, fly them directly from one airport to the other, arrange private ground transportation to their local areas, and you have to pay for everything, even though, yes, you're not part of the stimulus package, and yes, you're not making any money right now because we've shut down your industry, and yes, we still want you to pay for all this. But these are healthy people. There are no signs of any kind of infection that way. And also, have you been on a plane lately? You're lucky to have 20% of a plane filled going anywhere in North America. 85% of planes are canceled daily that are flying because there's just no passengers. There's just nobody flying right now unless it's absolutely an emergency. So is it really that big of a risk to take people who have shown no signs of anything, put them on a normal airplane with very few passengers, with protective, their mask and everything that's going on with how we're protecting ourselves, and letting these people go home? Is there really that big a risk? When this was all breaking out, or if there's confirmed cases on a ship, absolutely, different story. But we're talking about 95% of all cruise ships out there have 0 cases of anything on board. And they're still not allowed to send their own people home. And it's by the CDCs. And you know what? That's not even flying, to Europe or to Asia. They won't let people get off the cruise ship in Los Angeles and go into Nevada or into Boston. You can't even, you could be an American citizen and they won't let you off the ship. And not only that, even if passengers try and leave, they have put restrictions on the captains of the cruise ships that if they do not detain those crew members who are trying to get off, that they can, or somebody breaks quarantine and leaves, they can be charged and personally arrested as the captain of that ship. So I have that question. Now, have we started to go a little too far? Because I honestly think if there's been no signs of anything in 30 days or more in some cases on a cruise ship and they've just been sitting in the water, are there any more risks of those people going home than anybody going to the grocery store or anybody working at a meat factory plant? I honestly don't think so. And I think it's time that we take a little step back and start looking at things from a rational point of view and not by a numbers game. The number game says, you make a rule, but after a while that rule can become obsolete, if you know what I mean. There are laws in the book that you can't tie your horse to a post in front of a store for more than 2 hours. Well, yeah, that's from 120 years ago, but it's still on the books. Maybe that law is obsolete now and shouldn't be there anymore. You kind of see where the CDC's decision that nobody should be allowed to get off? So in 150 days from now, if there's still cruise ships out at sea, are they still going to say, with no infections, no nothing, but well, you know what? Way back when, there was a chance you could spread something, so that's got to stick. Because, we made that decision. We did. We know best. Yeah, don't get me started on the CDC, because there's a Congress now investigating Carnival cruise lines because they say they should have been more prepared for a viral respiratory infectious disease that's brand new spreading around the world, because they used to have norovirus, a gastronomical caused by food on their cruise ship. So they should have been more prepared. And so we're going to launch this big investigation into it. Give me a break. I'll have more on that coming up later this week, because it just seems like people are looking to, how that a good magician always says, it's more about getting your attention over here while they're doing something over here. Well, it's much the same way in politics. If you don't want them to look at something right now, you get them to look over here. And that's what it looks like they're doing right now. So, hey, cruise lines are an easy target, right? Because of the whole Diamond Princess and the Grand Princess, right? So let's get them focused over here. Let's get them focused over here, and then they won't pay attention to all the mistakes that we've done so far. And all the errors we've done so far. And wait till you see the differences when I go over that letter that the Congress has sent to Carnival Corporation. And then I break it down from a, shall we say, both sides of the argument view, instead of an antagonizing misdirection point of view. That's going to come up later this week. I really want to study it, and I really want to come out with my opinion, because when I first read it, I just shook my head and said, what a bunch of incompetent fools. That's literally what I said. Because what they say they were going for is not the way they're wording, and they're going after it. And you'll see what I mean when I bring that up. But in the meantime, I want you guys to know, if there's no sign of infection on a cruise ship, if there's no sign of anybody ill for over 30 days, can we not just get these people home? Can we not just put them on a plane and send them home? Because you're allowing travel everywhere else. You're starting to ease restrictions now. You're putting people back to work. You're opening up beaches and parks. You're opening up restaurants. Can we not just send these people home? Just sounds like a normal, decent thing to do. Well, let me know what you guys think down below. And yeah, thanks again for all the well wishes. Sorry I scared you if I put up that video about back to emergency, but I was literally driving back to emergency and had just pulled into the ducked into the emergency in the hospital when I put that video up. And if you'd have seen my whole side before I left, it was like I just walked through the rain, but only this side of my body got hit, because this was soaked and this was dry, and I just went, well, that's not good. And so, yeah, off I went, and sure enough, all it was the stitch had come loose, and they had to retie it up and re-put another one in there, and now just told me to leave it alone for another few days, and then things should be back to normal. So that's good things. I also have a news coming up about group cruises very shortly. If you stuck along with this video long enough, you'll see this. As you know, we have that group cruise on the Island Princess going to Panama Canal, the old locks, and 15-day coast-to-coast cruise. Well, I got some news on that, and I also have brand new news about another group cruise I'm also going to do in 2021, because this year's group cruise was canceled. And I felt so bad about it, because I was so looking forward to being able to go on this cruise, that I just said, and so many people were saying, are you going to do this? Are you going to do another one? And I said, well, I already have the Panama, I like to do just one a year, kind of, well, I changed my mind. That's right, we're going back to Alaska, and I made some special arrangements for a sail with reduced deposits and everything, and so I'm going to announce that later this week as well. So stay tuned for all that information, lots of stuff coming out, and wait for that response to the good old Transportation Committee who's launching an investigation into the cruise lines because they got nothing better to do during this time. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.